All right, so I'm using the Micro Puff in the rain. It's not raining too hard, but yeah, it's really comfortable. It's wet, you know. Once you start exercising, it warms up. I didn't bring my beanie today, so I can't really take off the hood, and it's got a little bit of a cold spot on the shoulders and the chest. You know, where my backpack straps are pressing down, there's an obvious cold spot. But you know, the focus isn't as much on warmth as with a Ghost Whisperer, but it's an athletic jacket, so you know, it does stay warm when wet. It is wet right now. It's not raining right now, but it is wet. My jacket is wet, and I'm still warm. Just as long as I keep exercising, I keep moving. It's pretty nice. Okay, yeah. So I'm using this Ghost Whisperer with this emergency poncho, $3 emergency poncho with the Ghost Whisperer. It's my first time wearing it in the rain. It's a really, really resilient jacket. I love it. It's got this really comfortable nylon that's got this nice DWR on it. It doesn't stay wet for long at all. Fabric gets dry from heat, and your body heat can dry this fabric super quick. It's super breathable. The focus isn't on durability. The focus is on comfort and luxury. And it has it. It's just amazing. I mean, when my hands are wet, I can stick my hands in the hand warmer pocket, and the pockets will start off kind of sticky and my hands will start off sort of wet. But then soon after, my hands get dry and the nylon gets silky smooth and luxurious all over again. So the focus is all on luxury and compressibility. The focus is not on durability. So Patagonia, you know, they give you a garment that lasts 10 years. Mountain Hardwear, they give you a garment that you could lend to the richest person on earth. You could give if you were going to go camping with Trump's son, you could give this to Trump's son, and he would tell Trump, "This is the best jacket I've ever worn." You know, this is like a wealthy man's jacket. This is an incredible piece of kit. It's an incredible garment. It fits really nice into the small dry sack from Z-Packs. And everything else about it you could read on the internet. It's got polymer ions bombarded onto the down, creating a more hypoallergenic, water-resistant down. It's got great DWR on the 7 denier nylon. I'm gonna put away my iPhone because it's getting soaked, but here we go. All right, so I'm using the Micro Puff. It's raining. I don't know if you can see the rain, but I'm walking home at midnight. Pretty far, about an hour through the woods in Marin. Yeah, the Pluma fill is working really good. I'm pretty happy with it. You know, the best jackets on earth, they're kind of competitive with each other. So it's difficult to say which one is the best, but I'm pretty excited to have like two or three of them right now. I just got the Ghost Whisperer 40 bag and the Ghost Whisperer jacket and the Micro Puff. I'm totally smitten with all of them. As a gear geek, I'm just stoked off of all of it. I got this Micro Puff for $130 because I got the Nano Puff for $140 at Costco. And then I took it to the Patagonia store and they gave me $150 off of the Micro Puff for my Nano Puff. So I gave them the Nano Puff and then went and grabbed the Micro Puff off the rack. And as you can see, the wasabi green little fringe right here on the hood and on the sleeve, it matches my Core 22 from Mountain Laurel Designs. I'm pretty excited. Looking pretty cute. And, don't get the wrong idea, though. You can't get a new jacket at Patagonia for your old jacket unless there's something wrong with the old jacket. So you have to say that the old jacket is too heavy or too cold or the wrong size or you don't like the color. Something has to be wrong with the jacket that you have in order to qualify for the new jacket. So you'll get half the price of the jacket that you have off towards the new jacket if you talk to Patagonia correctly the way that they're asking you to. If you say that there's nothing wrong with your jacket, you're not eligible for a new one. So pretty funny rules there, but I went into the Patagonia store in San Francisco and I got this one for $130. I got the the Ghost Whisperer from Mountain Hardwear for $230, so just like an extra 100. And I got them both relatively at the same time, and I'm comparing the two. Yeah, they're really, really nice jackets. I'll have to tell you more about it during the daytime. All right, so I'm walking home in the Ghost Whisperer. It's brand new. It's still got the DWR on it, and it's doing really well. I got a $3 emergency poncho at the liquor store. And yeah, I'm really impressed by the resilience of the Ghost Whisperer jacket. It's a great jacket. You know, I've got this $3 poncho on top of it, and that's all I need. I'm toasty warm in here. My iPhone is fine. It's something to think about. It's pretty awesome. So there's so much to say about polyester insulation and down insulation. Without writing it down, it's probably going to take me like 20 minutes to try to describe it all. So I'm just going to try to wrap this up as quick as possible. What I've got here is I've got the Ghost Whisperer jacket and the Micro Puff side by side. I've got an old like 4-ounce Golight Selkirk that's made out of Quantum Pertex over there. And I've got the Mountain Hardwear 32 Spark, which is a polyester insulated sleeping bag, and I've got the Ghost Whisperer sleeping bag from Mountain Hardwear right here. Patagonia is making their gear so that it's durable enough to last for 10 years. And basically what you get is you get this, with the Micro Puff, you get this kind of waxy, durable nylon. It's 10 denier nylon, maybe 15, but what's important to know is that it's intended for durability. It's supposed to last a long time. It doesn't breathe as well as the most breathable nylons on earth because it's designed to not tear. They don't want it to rip. All right, I can attest that I've had this Capeline shirt from Patagonia for a while, a couple of years, and I haven't had to replace it yet. Part of what makes synthetic garments for camping so reliable is the loft. You don't want it to be too lofty. Apex and also the this one, the Q-Core from Mountain Hardwear, they're a little bit too lofty and they're difficult to clean. So, you know, Biohazard, LBM, Montezuma's Revenge, stuff like that, it could get inside of your polyester insulation and it's difficult to scrub out. You don't want your polyester insulation to be more than like a ½ inch thick, and so it's really best used for athletic jackets. You know, this insulation, obviously, it's not very thick, and that makes it really easy to scrub. You know, you can throw it in the washing machine with some Tide and you can get it scrubbed because it doesn't have any natural antimicrobiotic in it, like wool or down. So, you know, it can get funky. You want to be able to wash it. So the thinner your synthetic garments are, the better for washing it. And so since warmth isn't really the focus, you want it to be athletic. Basically, when Run DMC and the Beastie Boys made Adidas tracksuits popular in the 80s, that was kind of like the birth of the synthetic athletic jacket. This is the same thing. The Thermostatic from Mountain Hardwear is a Q-Core polyester insulated athletic jacket. It looks very, very similar to those Run DMC Beastie Boy breakdancer jackets. And they all are kind of the same concept. They're thin, they're warm when you exercise. You can exercise in them. They're easy to wash. You can sweat in them and wash them. And the Patagonia version is very durable. Now, one of the issues is that nylon is tightly woven plastic polymer nylon, okay? So, and what ends up happening is it's kind of waxy. So as you can see, this is Quantum Pertex. This is probably the most famous ultra lightweight, thin, durable plastic nylon material. It's very, very thin and it breathes very, very well. It causes the down to dry very, very fast. It's kind of expensive, and this company Golight, they went out of business, but Patagonia, this is a custom nylon. It has some of the same properties as Quantum Pertex. It's similar. It isn't Quantum Pertex, it's more durable than that. But because it's waxy, it doesn't feel that comfortable against your sweaty skin. So when your neck gets sweaty, this area right here around the collar, this can rub against your neck and it's kind of waxy and it's not really breathable. It's not the most luxurious material because the focus is on durability. Ghost Whisperer is the total opposite, okay? This jacket is all about luxury and warmth. It isn't about durability. It breathes extremely well. It's very comfortable against your skin, but it could rip. If you're bushwhacking, especially downhill, or if you're sliding down rocks, this jacket could tear open. Also, if it's a heavy downpour of rain, your down could lose its loft and it could go flat. At that point, it would just be like a plastic tarp on your skin, like a bed sheet. It won't give you any warmth at all. The Micro Puff and the Ghost Whisperer, they both should be purchased in the size that they're intended. You shouldn't size up. You can size down. If you size down, you can't layer underneath them. I wouldn't size down in the Ghost Whisperer because it's pretty comfortable the way that it is and large. But if you size down to a medium in the Micro Puff, it would be good for biking or something because it's like a second skin. It's really close to the skin. But if you buy the Micro Puff in large, you can layer the Ghost Whisperer underneath the Micro Puff. So the Micro Puff handles moisture pretty well and wind. And then you would have the warmth of the Ghost Whisperer underneath that, and I'll zip it up and show you that it does. So I've got both on. All right, you can see the Ghost Whisperer is under here. The Micro Puff is intended for layering, and the Ghost Whisperer isn't. So the Ghost Whisperer is kind of like a second skin, really puffy and warm and cozy. And then the Micro Puff is kind of a really awesome windbreaker that handles moisture pretty well. So as an alternative to a raincoat, if you're going to be in really cold conditions in the snow and you're worried about it getting wet, you can layer the Micro Puff on top of the Ghost Whisperer. And then you would have two jackets that you can store separately in your pack. You can be wearing one all the time depending on what you need, and have the other one tucked away in your pack. They do compress really easy. They're easy to put away in your pack. So that would really kind of create a packing system that's super compressible and versatile for a number of different weather situations. It's pretty awesome. A bit of information that I would want to share with you about polyester insulation is that it does work best as a jacket, as an athletic jacket. Jackets don't get compressed for as long in the pack as sleeping bags. This 32 Spark that I got from Mountain Hardwear, I got it for 140 bucks on Cyber Monday on 2017 or 2016. And it lasted me one season, but after about 4 months, just from having it compressed in its compression sack inside of my backpack for about 6 to 8 hours while I was hiking, doing section hike overnighters, it lost its temperature rating. So it got colder from compression over time. Athletic jackets are not going to have that problem because they don't spend as much time compressed in the pack. So, you know, an athletic jacket made of polyester insulation could become your go-to for like 4 years, and the sleeping bags could become your go-to just for one season. But they will start to get cold. Basically, if you start using it in the shoulder season between spring and summer, you can use it through summer, but when the shoulder season comes back in for the fall, there might be a cold snap and it might fail. You might get really cold. Not to mention that this polyester from Mountain Hardwear, it's very lofty. It gains a tremendous amount of weight when wet. So when it gets wet, it's kind of like carrying a boulder. So, you know, even though you can sleep in it wet, it does stay warm while wet. You can't carry it the next day, so it's kind of pointless. You do want to just stick with jackets if you're going to use polyester. Down bags is that they are a lot harder to use than polyester bags. Polyester sleeping bags handle moisture very, very well while they're functioning, and while they aren't soaking wet, they're really, really hypoallergenic and easy to sleep in. They're really roomy and luxurious. I've got the 7-foot Spark. It was like one of the best sleeping bags I ever owned until it started to lose its temperature rating. So down, it doesn't get cold over time the way that polyester does, and it can be washed. You know, it's a great sleeping bag. However, it doesn't deal with damp weather very well. When it gets wet at night, it can get sticky. It can lose its loft in certain spots. You can get wet, cold spots that kind of stick to your backside, etc. So you need to have a tarp so that condensation takes place and the moisture lifts off the bag and either collects on your tarp or is just raised up towards the tarp and travels out through ventilation. You've got to have a tarp if you're going to use a down bag. So the down bag doesn't fail as often. It's more reliable, but you have to bring more kit if you're going to use down. You can't really cowboy camp in down. You've got to rig a tarp in order to get the moisture that gathers in the bag to lift up off the bag. That's what the tarp does. It blocks the rain and prevents the rain from landing on the bag, but it also gets the moisture that's in the bag to lift out of it and kind of go up into your shelter.